Panama has experienced its fair share of crises in the past, and shortly after the country had qualified for the first World Cup in its history, another was developing. Everywhere had run out of beer, says Gary Stempel. They had what's called a caravaner. It basically means that one car goes off and everybody follows it. Then cars from every other estate and every other road joins in. Everything was at a standstill, so everyone got out of their car and looked for a 24-hour supermarket to find beers. But they had sold out in half an hour of Panama qualifying. At 1 o'clock in the morning, the president went to the presidential palace and signed a decree calling the next day a national holiday. It was a really unique moment. Quote, "It was also an exceptionally unlikely one. Something that Stempel knew better than anyone. The son of one of the first professional Panamanian Major League Baseball players, Cookie Stempel had traveled to London from Panama with his mother and sister in the mid-60s. He stayed there until 1996, spending a decade setting up a community program with Millwall that provided a model for many other football league clubs to follow. He then upped and left, heading home for an adventure that would culminate with him taking the reins of the national team. In 2008, it was the 59-year-old's work with young footballers in the country, though, that would lay the foundations for Panama's astonishing ascent from footballing poverty to the gold-paved streets of the World Cup in Russia next summer. When I first arrived, well, let's put it this way, it was as basic as it could get," says Stempel. Many of the local league games were played on baseball pitches. They were played on concrete floors, shale surfaces. It was very, very basic stuff. There was very little support, very little infrastructure. As a coach, you were buying your own footballs, your own nets. You were helping the players with their travel expenses. I'm not saying I was the first person to do that, but that's just the way it was. Football wasn't, by any stretch of the imagination, the principal sport in Panama. It was still way behind baseball and boxing. Quote, "It was only when Stempel guided the country's under-20 side to World Cup in 2003 that football started packing a punch. A win against Mexico to qualify for the tournament in the UAE captured the imagination and started the process of purse string loosening. That really